I'm Dr. Barry, licensed psychologist, and here I share legal news from a psychological perspective. Thank you so much to the subscriber that mentioned this case to me. I I think I heard about it back when it happened, but I didn't realize that there had been an update with the parents. Viewer note, this case has some disturbing details. I'm not going to go into a lot of the details, but I am going to mention some of them. And the level of neglect and harm that happened in this case goes far and above anything I think I've covered here on my channel. And y'all know here as psych nerds, I like to provide something that we can learn from this situation. So I would like to share resources that people can use specifically for parents that have adult children with significant needs. What are some things that are available for those parents or caregivers? So let's dive right into this case. This is the case of Lacey Fletcher. She was 36 years old when her parents finally called someone to report that there was an issue. She was in the 60, I wanna say 69 pounds, I'm not sure. She was severely malnourished. She had been sitting in the same spot, they believe, for somewhere around 12 years and was in her own feces, urine, her own bodily fluids, and had kind of sunk into a spot in the couch. Even the coroner said that he had never saw a homicide scene quite like this one, and that it still bothers him to this day. And so here are the details. You can pause and read. Like I said, I don't want to go into every there is a lot here and a lot of this is very very triggering. But pretty much what had happened is her parents had let her just sit there for 12 years. And while she was an adult, she had nonverbal autism and pretty severe social anxiety. And there was some talk about, was she afraid to get off the couch? And even if that was the case, even if she had a fear of getting off the couch, that is where I believe the parents could have filed for medical power of attorney to be able to get her significant help. Because once someone turns 18, they are legally able to make decisions regarding their care and treatment. They're able to kind of take care of themselves. Based on what happened in this case, I don't think Lacey was in a place to be able to make those types of decisions for herself. And her family pretty much just watched her waste away. So here it says she weighed 100 pounds at the time of her death. I had seen a lot lower. I do not know. I had saw in the 60s in the 60s. The other report might have been incorrect. I'm not sure. She had reportedly been diagnosed with autism. She was nonverbal, and her parents claim she refused to eat when they tried to feed her, leading to her being unable to leave the couch. And then eventually she died because of this. And a person can be in such a state that you just can't sit back and watch that happen, especially if they have a developmental diagnosis. I do think the parents could have filed for medical power of attorney. They could have reached out to Adult Protective Services. There are agencies and resources. Now, the sad thing about our healthcare system is that you get the care you can afford. You don't get necessarily the care that you need. And as an adult, she likely wasn't working. She probably could have qualified for Medicaid. I wonder if she was receiving disability because it doesn't seem like she was able to care for herself. In my state, y'all know I am a psychologist in Virginia. We have day programs for individuals that are like her, where it's run by the Community Services Board, where people it's almost like an adult daycare, but not really. It's a place where people can safely go that have severe developmental or that have significant issues. They're not violent because if someone is physically aggressive, they have to seek, more of a residential type placement. And if her anxiety was so great and was at a point where she was not able to care for herself, a residential placement might have been what she needed. In Virginia, we have state hospitals, so even if someone can't afford, like if their insurance doesn't cover certain things, this severe of a case, she likely, and if she was in Virginia, could have received services through our state hospital. Trigger warning for the couch, because they're gonna have pictures there. A neighbor described her as just a normal, fun kid before vanishing from view 15 years ago. After her parents said she developed anxiety and they took her to a psychologist. And now with telehealth, somebody that does have severe anxiety, because just seeing her there, seeing her not getting up off the couch, seeing her literally waste away, sitting in her feces, you're like just I would have called adult protective services. I would have tried to work with the family. If the family refused to get help and support, like there needed to be somebody that intervened in this case. They described the stench that was there and oh, it really was a horrific scene. Now I'm gonna play a little news clip that provides an update on the parents because they were arrested and they recently pled no contest, where they're not gonna fight the charges, but yeah.
To a gruesome case, the parents of a woman found dead and basically rotting on a couch in deplorable conditions have entered a no contest plea today in court. Chris Rosado spoke with the prosecutor. He's here to explain what that means. Chris.
Yeah, well, as well, I'm told that by entering a no contest plea to manslaughter, that means Clay and Sheila Fletcher are not contesting the charge, but they are accepting it. So the original charge for second-degree murder was tossed out by a judge back in 2022 due to some conflicting language. When Lacey was found, the coroner described the scene as appalling and horrific because of the condition of the body and the couch where she was found. It was also determined that starvation was one of the main causes of her death.
So just doing a basic Google search, there are resources. So this case happened in Louisiana. And there are resources and supports that are out there and available. It sounds like the parents kind of and I don't know their situation. I think they did an interview. I did not I'm gonna be honest, I did not watch it. This case was just hard because to me, there's no excuse. I don't know how they lived in the house with her that way because everybody could say, like, from the front door, you could just smell everything, and this was 12 years just sitting there, and, like, there are ways that people can get that medical power of attorney where they are able to make medical decisions on their behalf, because if the parents, though, don't have that, the individual has to agree to go to services. They have to agree to all of this. If you have medical power of attorney, sometimes it makes it a little easier, or you can go to court and say they are not able to make these decisions for themselves. And then a judge will sometimes order certain treatments or will make certain decisions. But there are resources and tools that are available for people. Like I said, just a truly heartbreaking case. And I could see the parents possibly being like, okay, well, she's an adult if she decides, but developmentally, I don't think she was able to make that decision, or the mental health got to a point where she's not making decisions that are safe, that are in her best interest. Because in those 12 years, I wonder if she probably didn't go to a doctor. Like they're saying that there were exposed bones and just oh. And I do believe I heard the parents commented that she wasn't in pain, but sometimes individuals with autism don't communicate pain the same way other people do. Or even if she's not saying she's in pain, we know that no one should sit in their own mm, all for years. No one should do that. And it's just really is a heartbreaking case. If you have any additional questions about this, please let me know. I know the person that asked the question just wanted to understand how could someone let this happen? And I wonder if her being an adult, I wonder if the parents were like, it's been so stressful being the caregiver up until this point that they just were like, okay, if you just want to sit there, you can sit there. No, because that was not safe. And that's the line I draw is this safe or is this not safe? When I'm working with individuals on the spectrum, and if they are verbal, then we're able to talk about once they do turn 18, they're still, if they're living at home, there's still certain expectations, there's still certain boundaries, there's still this and that. And it really can take a toll when someone is a caregiver. And so that's where I talk about helpers need help too. And as a caregiver, I need to manage my own frustrations. I need to make sure I'm taking care of me. I need to see my therapist. I need to make sure that I have what my child needs, because I might have a child that is not going to be in a place where they are independent or where they're able to function on their own, because it almost seems like they were just waiting for her to die, which breaks my heart to even say, but, like, I don't know, like, she's not eating, she's just, like, I don't know what they thought was gonna happen, and I wish that they had reached out for help and support. So, the parents will be sentenced coming up in March, I wanna say, and we'll keep an eye on that. I was in Grizzly True Crimes chat earlier today talking about how important it is, as you're watching this coverage, as you are following cases, please make sure that you take care of you. If it starts to get to the point where you're not sleeping, where you're feeling stressed and anxious and you're having all of this stuff, please just make sure that you're taking care of you. And if you need a break from some of my court content, please know that I have a lot of other just general mental health content out there. I am watching the Harmony Montgomery case. That is a very, very triggering case. And I could not sit through some of the testimony, and I'm watching follow-up coverage over on Grizzly True Crime and over on a few other places. I may cover the verdict because I am interested to see what happens in this case, but if y'all have mental health questions about it, let me know and I can take a look. My email is info@drpatriceberry.com. Once again, that's info@drpatriceberry.com. If you all have any cases or resources that you all would like for me to cover. I don't respond to every message, but I appreciate when I get tips and ideas like this one, and you can always just leave it in the comments because I do look at my comments as well. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.